Last time I was talking about acronyms and doing my first little bit of TV work, including spilling a coffee on Vernon Wells when he played for the Blue Jays. He loved Tim Hortons, apparently, a big Tim Hortons fan. One of the other things that started to happen as I did TV work is I was in several meetings about programming ideas for AMI TV back in those earlier days, 14, 15 years ago. And we give all sorts of ideas. I worked with a videographer, and we would sit down and kick around ideas, and some of these things would start to kind of be flushed out and become shows. Our good friend DJ Damaris, he came on board to be a reporter as well as host a show for the network. Well, I would get asked by Andrew Morris, who's no longer with the company. He's running his own production company out there. Hey, Andrew, very good. One of the things he would ask me in his position, and he was overseeing original content for AMI TV, was, hey, Cal, you got ideas of shows we could do? No, not really. Well, along comes Blindsided. And we started doing it as a little segment, and John Melville asked for me to come up with an idea that would make it an actual show. And I kind of, it's not really up to me, man. Who am I? I'm just the guy who hosts these segments. That's not my job. Andrew would ask me, hey, Cal, you got some ideas for shows? I hear John wants you to come up with a concept for Blindside. Oh, yeah. So we filmed a few more. And I remember sitting down with Andrew one day, and he said, so I'd like to make a suggestion. He said, I really know there's some reason you're resistant to pitch show ideas. Really? You think so? I know so, he said. And I said, like what? I don't know. Maybe lack of trust? I said, oh, what? What do you mean lack of trust? And, of course, I had the big Kelly smile, electric smile on. He said, what do you think's going to happen? Like your idea's going to get stolen? Well, no. So we had that chat, and at that time I had been an employee long enough that I knew my intellectual property was still mine. People being brought on board, they realized they're creative, their ideas while at work were really the company ideas. Okay, they were ideas that's where you weren't going to run off the CBC generally and give it to them. You were going to, hey, AMI, this is something I have and I'd like to create here. Again, you could do what you wanted on your own off hours time, but so I would have never thought of Blindsided that way. It was more, do I know enough? Did I have the confidence to pitch an idea for a half-hour show? And how much was how much was Andrew right, and I was hesitant to share some of the things locked in my head? Well, he worked with me a bit. I gave him an idea as to how I would flesh out Blindsided, and we did it. Show became from concept to fact. 3 years of it. I also, along with a coworker, suggested a show because one of the things that really bothered me being a Londoner is access to so many of the conferences that were going on around Canada. So from the conference was born. We came up with the idea, the concept of how this show could be done, and how important it was to take the idea that everybody gets to be at a conference that CNIB might be holding, or Views, or somebody. And the many organizations across Canada that were doing that, how could we bring them into people's living room? And that was the idea and concept of the show. So I'm very proud to have been a part of the Blindsided program, even though it wasn't my original idea, and from the conference, which was a at-home concept with me and a coworker. And we really thought, hey, this is going to be a good thing if they go for it. And they did. So very honored there. And very amazed by all the people who now contribute, whether they are an apprentice that comes on board at AMI or you out there who says, I'm going to give it a shot and suggest an idea for a show for the AMI audience. It's not only appreciated by us, but by the viewers, by the listeners, because you have so many great ideas, so many concepts that need to be brought forward. So I guess this is my pitch and my assurance that you should probably do that. Don't be like me that sat there for a few years. Somebody's going to steal my idea and I'm not going to get any credit. So go ahead. I challenge you. Share with us so we can all enjoy your ideas.